Welcome everyone, I am Alana.
And I'm Lady.
And this is Spookery.
Oh, it's spookery, babe. It's spookery.
It's Spookery, guys. Welcome back. How's it going?
How's it hanging, guys? How are you? Chat, we don't really ask this very often. How are you? You guys okay?
How are you? Truly.
You all right? You feeling relaxed? You feeling calm? Are you copacetic? Are you here?
Copacetic.
Are you copacetic? Are you
feeling groovy tonight? Just stellar?
Are you just vibing with the universe right now? Are the crystals speaking to you?
What are they saying?
Buy more crystals.
I do hope you guys are having a great night tonight because I intend to ruin that.
Yeah, if you started this episode feeling good, feeling centered, feeling wholesome, feeling any level of center, I can guarantee by the end of this, you and I together, chat, we're in this together. Both of us are leaving this session frustrated, upset, maybe a little bit sad, and questioning. We're going to be questioning a lot of things.
It's like she already knows the end of the script.
I do.
Wow.
You know, like not like I've done an Unsolved Mystery this season and I know exactly how it ends. Or
No.
It's not our first rodeo down the Unsolved Mystery river. No. There's no rodeos in the river. What am I?
Rodeos in the river.
There's no rodeos.
Don't waste your milk on an unlit candle, guys. And this ain't my first rodeo in the river. Get those embroidered on a mug.
Consider being derailed. We haven't even begun. I don't even know what we're talking about, and I'm already derailed.
An Unsolved Mystery. Weren't you listening?
I'm sorry. Maybe I wasn't.
Once we get into it, it's gonna be all downhill for a while. It's gonna get pretty sad. There's no trigger warnings, luckily, but It is gonna get pretty sad tonight.
All right. Well, chat. You and I are in this together. Neither of us know what we're doing. We're simply here for the ride. We're gonna have a great time. We can hold hands the whole time. It's okay. You can close your eyes. It's okay. You don't need them. You don't need them for this. You don't need them. But you do need your ears. Keep those on.
Keep those on.
Keep those on.
Please keep your eyes closed and ears on the whole time.
Whole time. Keep your hands, arms, feet, and leg inside the Unsolved Mysteries vehicle at all times.
At all times. Yeah, and we're gonna get going.
Yeah.
Today we are going to be discussing the life and death of Ingrid Caeckaert.
Ingrid Caeckaert.
Yes.
I don't think I know this one. I don't think I do.
I don't think you're alone on that. I think most of our listeners, specifically our American listeners, probably haven't heard of this one.
Okay.
Mainly because I don't think that her case received a lot of international attention. It was mostly local.
Okay.
A lot of the sources...
It's a bit like Michelina Lewandowska, and it kind of was like, it was really like a British local case. It was like a side scroll on a newsreel, and...
Yeah, yeah, truly. I mean, it was very well covered locally. On like, I mean, as you'll see, like her family goes on. They contact pretty much every like unsolved like mystery like media, whether it's a magazine, a show, anything. Like they've contacted everyone. They want answers. Like so, this was heavily covered in the area that it was in, but it was in Belgium.
It's Belgium. The Belgium case.
Yeah. A lot of the resources that I used for this were in Dutch, so that also made it very interesting to research because, as you know, I don't speak Dutch. So I had to do a lot of translating for this. I relied very, very heavily on my translating resources. And so there might be some things that may be mistranslated or might be misrepresented just because it didn't translate correctly. So if there is anything that is wrong or just a little off, please let me know. I did my best with the resources provided.
Hey, especially with any foreign language thing, you take every little bit, it's a-okay. The fact that you went ahead and did the research anyway, that speaks volumes. So thank you for trying. Thank you for putting the pieces together.
Yeah, no, happy to do it. And I also think too, as I continued on with this case, again, it's an unsolved mystery, so you already know, like, you take a little bit of ownership with it too, of going like, okay, I don't think a lot of Americans like know about this. Like, I'm actually excited to get to present it to Americans, because not that I think we're going to solve this crime, right? But you just never know. You never know. Putting the right set of eyes on something sometimes is really the key. And so just sharing information like this and raising awareness is like, you become a little passionate about it as you go through the case. You're like, yeah, you know, I want to tell people about this. Like, people need to know. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, is like, people need to know. So I'm really excited to tell you.
I 100% agree. I definitely think that, you know, the more people who are looking, the more people, like, honestly, it takes one, right? Like, just one, like, word of mouth just to let people know and just spread awareness. And, you know, who knows, maybe, like, someone will listen to Spookery one day and be like, you know what, actually, like, yeah, this does sound like something I can help with. And, you know, chat, maybe it's you. Maybe you can figure this out. Maybe you don't. It's okay. We're in it together. We might not solve anything tonight, but at least we're talking about it, because, you know, it's something we always say about Spookery. Like, you gotta give the victims their time to just be recognized, to let their stories be told, and yeah, their stories are worth hearing.
It's so true, and this is one that is so worth hearing. So again, I'm sad that it happened, but I'm happy that I get to tell you about it now, because what happened.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. But we're talking about her. We're going to celebrate her life. And hopefully one day we catch who did it.
Exactly. So let me tell you about Ingrid.
Yeah, tell me about Ingrid.
So, Ingrid Caeckaert was born on May 7th, 1964. She was raised in Maldegem, Belgium. Fast forward to 1991. Ingrid is now a vibrant and beautiful 26-year-old, just killing life. She was still living in her native village of Maldegem, which is a smaller rural city with a population of only around like 20,000 or so.
Oh, okay.
It's a pretty wonderfully scenic place, as described by most people that have been there, both by tourists and by like local people.
I think that's just kind of true, like, of Belgium in general. Like, Belgium is just very idyllic. It's very beautiful. Like, when you think of Belgium, you don't like, oh, like, that place, very dangerous, very terrible. Like, Belgium is very idyllic. They got great chocolate. They got great people. They just got great. They got great.
They do good over there.
They doing good?
They doing good. So, yeah, her little town of Maldegem, situated between Bruges and Hent, only a short drive to Knokke to see a beach. So really, like, you kind of have everything in all directions. I mean, drive a little bit one way, you're at the beach. Drive a little the other way, you're in the middle of the forest, and other ways you're in a pretty nice little town.
Love it. Yeah, it sounds like it was close to everything.
Yeah, no really rough areas, so to speak, like you were saying. It's just very idyllic, great place to start a family, very safe place to live.
Great place to eat some chocolate.
Heck yeah. Speaking of which, Ingrid's parents they owned and operated their own bakery.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
yeah.
They know.
They know everything about Belgian chocolate. They're like, we've mastered it. We've mastered the Belgian chocolate.
Yeah. Her parents, Georges Caeckaert and Mary Joseph Verrick, they also, like I said, lived in Maldegem. That's where Ingrid lived, was with them. She also part-time lived with her pretty serious boyfriend in the next town over, in Knokke.
Boyfriend's name?
I do not have.
Don't have? No name? No name
do
for
not
guy?
Have, no name for guy. Name for boyfriend. No, he's Ingrid's boyfriend.
He's just some guy.
He's just some guy. Yeah, I don't know if I maybe missed it in the translating, and maybe I thought it was the name of a different person, and so I didn't want to, like, call someone by the wrong name, but I truly don't think I saw his name in any of the sources that I found. So I don't have a name for him. He's Ingrid's boyfriend.
He's just Ingrid's boyfriend. He's just some guy.
Yeah, he's just some guy. Lived in the next town over, which is where she actually started her business. So just a short drive. She had a very successful real estate agency. Oh, she started herself.
She didn't follow in her parents' footsteps and become like the world's greatest baker.
No, she said chocolate, baked goods, all more of a hobby. Love to eat.
Fair enough.
But my game is real estate. So she sold bakers.
She's gonna dominate the real estate market.
Yeah.
She's gonna sell so many bakeries.
She did really good for herself. She her company was called Agents Atlanta, which I had read that she called it that because she wanted to be like right at the front of the yellow pages. So
that's smart.
The AA.
That's so
she's right.
She's a genius.
Right? She is a total entrepreneur, just like her parents.
I love it. What year is this taking place?
1991.
1991. Great year.
Yeah. So
great.
Not too far off. Like I said, this is an over 30-year-old case, but it's really not that long ago. This really feels like the other day.
Yeah.
Not giving away how old we are.
No.
So, like I said, besides her thriving business and her committed relationship, her life was pretty normal. She was described as an attractive, well-dressed woman with a steady relationship and a quiet life.
Okay.
So,
that's all we can ask for, Ingrid. That's all we can ask for.
Yeah, she was doing really well. Unfortunately, Saturday, March 16th, 1991. You already know I'm giving you a date, so it's going to be a bad day.
It's going to be a bad day.
It's going to be a bad day. It was planned to be a fairly busy day for Ingrid. She had already decided to make a brief stop in at a boutique that was run by a friend of hers. She wanted to pick up some dresses. I think I read that she had watched like a fashion show the night before, and she's like, oh, I want to go try on some of these dresses. So she stopped in, made a quick little stop there.
Such like a normal thing to do, right? Just like, I'm just gonna go like hang out with my friend and like try some dresses on.
Literally just have a little bit of a girl's morning, because I got some stuff later in the day. After that, she's like, I'm gonna go run and grab some lunch like I do every single day of my life. So she headed to a local bakery and grabbed a sandwich. Usually she would head home to her parents' house and have lunch, but on this particular day she had a meeting in the next town over in Knokke, so she decided to just take the sandwich over to her boyfriend's apartment, have lunch there, and then she would be super close by for her meeting, so it'd be super convenient.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's something like, this is something I can see myself doing.
Right? Like, people always look back on people's, like, last days and they're like, oh, they were up to some weird stuff. Their stuff looked weird. But it's like, truly, most things, like, people make small varying changes on any day of your life, right?
Yeah, you can't
This was a very normal day.
You can't live a cookie-cutter life. You can't just, like, I can't risk, like, deviating because, like, that might be the day that I die. Like, you have to live. You have to live.
And she was out there living.
She was living. She, like, that was, it's like, there's such normal changes. Like, yeah, I just got to change the scenery. I was just saving time. I was just being a little efficient.
Exactly. That's literally like you said. So she decided, I'm going to go here because it's just closer to where I need to be later in the day. So she made her way over to her boyfriend's apartment. No problem. She arrived to the apartment around 1 p.m. that afternoon.
Okay.
From what I found. Again, the times always vary with cases like this, so if I got the time wrong, let me know. But around 1 p.m. is what I've been reading. After arriving to the apartment, she headed up through the elevator to the 7th floor, which is the floor that her boyfriend lived on.
Right.
Just a short while later, approximately around 1:30-ish, so not that far out, maybe 30 minutes later.
Literally, like, enough time to eat a sandwich and then go.
Yeah. Another occupant of the same apartment enters the building with dinner for her family. She heads up that same elevator to the 6th floor. She doesn't even step out of the elevator before she is greeted with a gruesome sight.
On the 6th floor?
On the 6th floor. From the elevator, without stepping off of it, I guess how it's situated, you can see the stairwell leading up to the 7th floor.
Right.
And on that stairwell, she saw what she couldn't believe. An absolute massacre. In front of her laid the mangled body of Ingrid Caeckaert.
Jesus Christ.
Later, it would be discovered that she was stabbed at least 62 times.
What the fuck? That is, like, that's beyond, like, personal. That's just savagery.
It's, like you said, you just can't comprehend that. 62 times.
Like,
and my first thing is that happened in 30... How fast, how hard, how viciously did you have to be stabbing to make that happen in 30 minutes? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's just, like, it's rage. That's, like, the speed at which, like it's almost, like, incomprehensible. Like, the savagery in that, like, in such a short amount of time.
I don't even, like, my brain can't even, I'm like, where do you sustain 62 how do you count 62 stab wounds on someone? Like, that is just...
Jesus Christ. Like, I just, like, what compels someone to do that?
I can't even imagine.
We don't even have an answer because it's unsolved.
It's unsolved.
Damn.
I know.
This is your daily reminder that this case is unsolved.
Daily reminder. Yeah, we got to keep reminding ourselves as we go through this because you do forget and you just want answers.
Oh my God, 62 stab wounds. What the fuck? Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So as you can imagine, this scene that this woman is staring at it's a lot of blood. Yeah. So she is in a complete state of shock. Like, she doesn't even know how to comprehend what she is seeing. So she just gets back on the elevator and she runs outside in a panic. And the first thing she does is find a phone booth.
Yeah, honestly, fair reaction.
Yeah. And the first person she calls is her husband, who promptly tells her, please call the police.
Also a very human reaction, where you're just in that state of shock where, like, I don't know how to comprehend. How do you comprehend that? Can you imagine, like, you're literally heading home and you just see 62 stab wounds on a person. On a person. And, like, this is 1991. You don't have cell phones. You don't have these things. Like,
no, Jesus. there's no emergency preparedness that would ever set someone up to be ready to be presented with that horrific. Like, I'm sure even now to this day, this woman is, when she closes her eyes, like, there's
something
horrific vision. Like
that just burns into your retinas.
Yeah. It's pretty awful. But
this is Belgium. This is like
Belgium.
This is fucking Chilltown like 101.
Yeah. Exactly. Like you said, this was like she never thought anything like this, I'm sure, would ever happen in her life, let alone like that she would be the one coming home to find this.
Jesus Christ, poor Ingrid.
Yeah. I can only imagine what her last moments were like. Just yeah. So I do want to take a moment, like you said, to kind of talk about it, because going through this and being like, she called her husband first, and I think me a while ago would have been like, what the heck, you didn't call the police right away? But that was before I was in my own accident, and before the first thing I did sitting in a car where I couldn't open the doors and I was just breathing in smoke was I didn't call the police. I called you.
Yeah, you did. You did call me.
So I get it, because you don't call, like, your thought isn't like, I need to call police. I mean, even I think when we talked about Ed Kemper, when he killed his grandparents, he didn't call the police right. He called his mom.
Yeah.
He panicked and called his mom. I think it's such a natural thing to call your, like, comfort person or, like, someone you trust, because you're not just like, let me call a stranger. Like, you're like, I need to call someone I know.
Yeah, it's almost like a validation thing, I think, where, like, something happens to you. I'm going to use your accident as an example. Where you're just like something, it's such a, like it's like a once in the blue moon event where like something just happens and it's so out of the blue. Yeah. And you almost need validation. Like, did that just happen?
Do I call the cops? Do I call 9? Is this a 911 thing right now? And the other person's like, yes, 911 right now. And you're like, okay, thank you for saying that.
But it's almost like it's like a ground. It's like, you know, like you need like a grounding moment, because like you're almost like, am I dreaming? Is this reality? Yeah. Like, did I hallucinate that? Like, I just need like validation that just happened. Yeah. And so like when you called me and you were like, hey, I've been in an accident, I was like, oh my God. Yeah. You've been in an accident. And then that was kind of like, that's when like the emotion hit you. And I was like, yes, you've been in an accident. We need to like get you help. Yeah. No, I was not panicked. I was sitting there like so calm in that moment of just kind of like, yes, there's smoke. Oh my gosh, I think I'm in a little pain, but I don't know. And like, I'm just going to call Lady, because that's the only logical thing that makes sense right now, is like, she just needs to know. Yeah. That was quite a phone call. That was quite a phone call, chat. I get her state of mind. Like, and I don't think I would have before. Like, I really think going through these cases and stuff that you have those like those fight or flight reactions or the freeze or whatever, you know, your brain does weird stuff in those moments. But like I said, seeing it from this different perspective now, I'm like, I get it, ma'am. You called your husband. You needed to call your husband first before you called the police. As dumb as that sounds, you had to do that. It's that like reality validation of just like, I'm experiencing something that is wildly different from my regular reality, and I just need like confirmation that I can proceed. It's almost like you know, like press space to go. Like you just it's that visceral like, hold on, I just need to like triple check that this is what's going on. Yeah, because like I think like especially when you're just dealing with like a 62 stab wounds, so that's something that like your brain, like in Belgium, that's not something that your brain can wrap your head around. So I totally get it. And I do not blame this woman at all for just being like, hey, so quick question, I found a person who's been stabbed 62 times. It's like, is it okay to call the police? Yeah, you go, honey. You call your husband first, and then you call the police. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. 100%. So that's just a note to anyone who ever goes through something crazy like that. It's okay. You call whoever you need to call first, and then you can call 911. It is okay. The emergency's gonna still be there. Yep. It's they can wait 5 seconds. It's okay. Yeah. I'm like, after being there, I'm just like, I get it, and I really do. I totally get it. I just wanted to talk about that for a minute before we continue on. No. Anyway, it's a very good thing to talk about. Yeah. Back to the case. Back to the murder. So. Our witness here, our first witness, she finally calls the police. When the police arrived, they were also in a state of shock over the crime scene. They also called their husbands. They also called their husbands. They were like, oh my God, 62 stab wounds. Like, what? We're supposed to live in this safe? Like, do you know we're in Belgium? We're in Belgium. They're like, yes. Like, this doesn't happen in Belgium. This doesn't happen here. Yeah, like, this is not... We read about this stuff in other parts of the world. This doesn't happen here. No, it's such a... I get it. It's just, it's such a break in reality. Mm-hmm. But yeah, a crime of this magnitude was truly unheard of in this area. So it sent shockwaves. I can only imagine. Like I'm kind of shocked that it didn't get past Belgium. Like, we did not talk about this. That's a brutal crime for like American standards. It really was just unfathomable, extremely gruesome. But as gruesome as it was, this crime scene did provide a lot of potential evidence for authorities to look at. As we know, blood always tells a story, and this crime scene had so much to say.
and yet it provided so little answers.
Right.
So let's start with the blood spatter evidence. The blood spatter told authorities that the attack likely started on the stairwell between the 6th and 7th floors.
Okay, so that kind of implies that she was leaving via the stairwell, or like she had to go down to the 6th floor.
I think she was forced into it.
Okay.
To be honest, I think someone was waiting for her when she reached the 7th floor, and they pursued her into the stairwell.
Okay.
That's my theory. I don't know.
Yeah, it's such an unusual place. Like, I guess it is secluded. Like, if you wanted something, it would be a good place to like separate someone. But yeah, it's also like, was she there deliberately, or was she forced into it?
Ingrid was an incredibly strong woman who had a lot to live for, so she put up a fierce resistance to her assailant. She did not go down without a fight. In so doing, she caused her killer some pretty substantial injuries of their own.
Okay. So it implies that she saw the killer come. Like, it wasn't like a surprise attack. Like, it sounds like the person, like, she was aware that someone was attacking her, like, from the get-go.
Yeah, she had, like you said, the defensive wounds, like, on her body and stuff like that, that indicated that, like, this was not just something that just, like, happened and she just got attacked and went down. Like, no, her arms and, like, everything showed that she was putting up a fight. She saw this person.
Right.
And, I mean, honestly, with as brutal as this attack was, and we'll talk about it in a little bit, she probably knew this person.
Jeez.
At some point throughout the struggle, like I was saying, her assailant probably was stabbed with their own weapon, and which caused them to bleed too. So even more blood was found on the 7th floor, as well as the stairwell between the 7th and 8th floors as well. So
someone trying to retreat, maybe.
Yeah, so a bloody handprint was found near the wall, and the biggest piece of evidence through this whole thing was a trail of blood spanning over 120 meters long from the crime scene all the way out onto the sidewalk toward the street where it just ended abruptly.
So they got into a car.
Most likely.
Jeez.
So, all of this evidence, like I said, kind of helped investigators piece together what they believed happened after the attack as well, and kind of even during, because this all happened within the span of 30 minutes. This was all extremely quick.
Yeah.
So it was speculated that the killer heard the elevator coming up, that when that other woman started coming up the elevator, they heard that. Mm-hmm. And that probably incited some sort of panic, and they fled. So that's, I think, where they left Ingrid in the staircase that was going from the 6th to the 7th floor, and they themselves went and hid in the floor, the 7th to 8th.
Right. Yeah,
and that's why there was blood there. It was their own blood that was found in that. None of, like, I mean, they had Ingrid's blood on them, but, like, they were trailing their own blood throughout the rest of the apartment.
Yeah.
So, from there, like you said, I think they went down, after this woman headed back down the elevator, they probably went down the stairs, somewhere else in the building, fire exit, I don't know, and then made it out to the street, like you said, where they went to some sort of a vehicle and were able to get away.
Yeah, I wonder if there were multiple elevators in that building. Like, you know, sometimes like with apartment buildings, they have like 2 elevators. They have like a service elevator, and then they have like a regular elevator, like one for like packages and post, and then they have like the passenger. Then of course, yeah, like a fire exit would be an ideal, or like a secondary staircase.
From my understanding, it seemed like there was only one elevator, but again, it was hard to look up some of these more specific questions. Mm-hmm. I just had to use the context off of what was provided, and the reason that I came to the conclusion of there being only one elevator was the way that it was described, like, just in all of the different articles of it being like the way that they just said the elevator, and the stairs, like it was the only one, the way that they talked about it. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe like you said, there was something separate and they just were talking about the main ones where everything was found. Yeah, I don't know, but it's just kind of the way that they were talking about it in the building, even the pictures from the outside. I think it was just the one, but I don't know. Yeah, no, it's totally possible. Like, just because something's standard in America doesn't mean that's not the Belgian way. Right, I don't know, but it's a good question, and I want you to keep those questions, because hopefully maybe we'll find some answers to those too. Yeah, maybe we'll stir some pots that haven't been stirred in a while. Yeah, at some point throughout this 30-minute craziness, the killer fled the scene and got away before police actually arrived. But like I said, the crime scene provided quite a bit of evidence, and investigators went to work right away trying to actually gather as many clues and just obtain as much information as they could from this. So, the apartment building where Ingrid was attacked was actually in a fairly high traffic area, so they were really hopeful for witnesses. On this day in particular, there just so happened to be a larger than usual line for an ATM that was just outside the building. Mm-hmm. So there was a pretty long line of people that had yet to even like really move that much by the time police had even arrived. So a lot of those same people that were there when Ingrid got there were there when the police got there too.
Right.
So they were like, hey, did you see anything? Only one person out of this whole group of people saw anything, and it was a single bloodstain on the sidewalk.
Jeez.
They're like, yeah, there was just like maybe a drop of blood over there. And it's like, that's it? That's all you saw?
Like, Jesus Christ. Well, I mean, that could also imply that, like, maybe they did take like an alleyway out. Like, sometimes those old buildings with, like, fire exits and things, they have, like, a side alley. And that was, like, the method of exit. And so, like, they didn't see someone frantically running out of the front of the building, like, streaking 120 feet of blood. Yeah. It was, I mean, I guess it depends where the blood trail came from.
Yeah, and I wasn't able to find, I got, like, look further away pictures from the, like, hotel, and I got, like, some closer up ones, like, of certain things, but I couldn't get like a full grasp of what the area looked like, unfortunately. I'm just going off of like written descriptions, which are very hard because everyone reads things different. Yeah. And visualizes them differently.
100%.
So, not finding anything near the big crowd of people near the ATM, they moved on to the area where the blood trail ended, near where there was the empty area for a car. They continued to question people in that area, hoping for a lead. Several witnesses reported seeing a small red car that had been poorly parked on that particular stretch of sidewalk.
Not in Belgium. We don't park poorly in Belgium.
They were like, no, who's that? They're clearly out of town. Yeah. Which, I mean...
It might be.
Maybe.
Maybe they are.
So they were pretty desperate for answers at this point because no one had seen anything. So they apparently had one witness that was willing to undergo hypnosis as a way to attempt to kind of get a clear picture of their memories.
Interesting.
Through the practice of that, they determined the car to be a red Honda Civic, and then they cross-referenced that, all the like owners of red Honda Civics, with people that were in the area. There was not any leads that came from that, unfortunately.
Right.
So they moved on. With no physical evidence or witnesses pointing them in any direction, they turned to motive to try to give them a case direction.
Yeah, like, you know, was it like a disgruntled coworker who got like missed out on commission? Was it, you know, a buyer whose offer got rejected? Like, if you're real estate, can be pretty cutthroat. Like, I don't know how cutthroat it is in Belgium, but like, and I know at least in America, it's pretty bad.
And that's kind of where they started going to, because like you said, they asked around, they talked to her family. She was such a well-liked woman. She didn't really have a lot of enemies. And even weirder, and it's probably one of the most disturbing things about the attack, was that there, like, even looking at it, there was no clear motive. She was not missing anything. She was not robbed. Her apartment had not been touched. There was no signs of sexual assault. She was literally just attacked.
Yeah.
And that's just chilling. Like, that's just crazy.
It's just violence for the sake of violence.
Which, like you said, kind of points toward either, like, it's just a deranged killer out on the loose, which we're in Belgium, so, I mean, the chances of that...
You know, maybe we do have a Belgian maniac out there, I don't know.
But the chances of it being someone that she knows, a family, a friend, a coworker, those chances are pretty high. And so the first place they really looked, or one of the first places I want to talk about, is the work-related theory, just because...
Yeah.
I think it's one of the easiest ones to go right to. So one of the early theories focused on fraud, specifically in the real estate world.
Okay.
So shortly before her death, she had actually confided to some of her friends and family that she was aware of some fraud taking place.
Oh. It's a cover-up.
I mean, for her, she wanted to keep herself clean. She was like, I have no interest in this. And in fact, even further, like, if I even get wind of this, like, she was one of those people, she's like, I'll go to the authorities. Like, I don't want to get wrapped up in this type of a thing.
Fair.
So the scheme was kind of simple at the time. People were selling land for project development when the land did not exist. It only existed on paper. They were selling fake land.
They were doing phantom plots.
Yeah. And like I said, Ingrid just wanted no part of that. She was a good cookie. And she was like, no, I come from good bakers. I'm a good cookie. I'm not going to sell fake land.
My parents raised a good cookie.
Yes. And so she was like, chocolate. No. But because of that, I mean, like you said, if there was someone that was like, well, now you know more than you should, and you're not going to be in with us, then you're against us. So that is a potential theory.
Yeah, that is, I mean, you know, it's such a sad thing to say, but people have killed for less.
People have killed for far less. But there was really no leads to follow up in that regard. Like I said, everyone they talked to seemed to like her. So the next obvious suspect in that case would be the boyfriend.
Some guy. It would be some guy.
Some guy. However, Ingrid's boyfriend, who shall remain unnamed.
Who will remain some guy.
He will remain some guy. He had a pretty solid alibi. He had actually been inside his apartment the entire time while this is happening.
Did he confirm that she came in to eat the sandwich, or did she never come in for sandwich eating?
She never made it. I don't think she ever made it in.
She never made it into sandwich.
She never made it into sandwich.
Okay, so like this all happened outside. I mean, that would also.
This all happened outside.
So this does kind of work with like the stairwell theory. Like in my head, like if somebody knew her, and they knew where she was going, and they were waiting, like lying in wait, like they knew that like they had a very small
clear
window.
shot.
But they had also a very small window of real estate, where like from the elevator to the boyfriend's apartment, like I don't know how many doors down it was from the elevator. I don't know how far away it was. I don't know how many like apartments live on this floor. But the easiest way to control someone is to get them away from their exit, right? And so if they're blocking the way to the boyfriend's apartment, if they're deliberately standing between her and the boyfriend's apartment, maybe like the only way she can see as an exit is to go down the stairs. And that's like she was actively fleeing, or she was threatened into that to like get away from the apartment. Because like, of course, if like a noise is happening outside the hallway, the boyfriend's going to hear it. The residents are going to hear it. So like that's kind of my thinking, is that they're like it was an attempt to flee, or it was a deliberate maneuver to get her away from people who could have heard what was going on. Because I'm like 62 stab wounds, like that's gotta be loud, right? That's gotta be
loud.
It's gotta be vocal.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. I didn't even think about that, like you said, of someone like cornering. I don't want to use that word because that just sounds so scary, but like cornering her in that way.
It only makes sense if it is someone who knows her like her cycle, but also it has to be someone who knows her routine, because this was also like
we'll keep building on this.
This was a deviation. She wasn't supposed to, like she doesn't normally do that. Oh, I have a theory, but I'll save it for when we get there.
Okay, I'm excited.
Yeah.
So
I have a thought.
All right, chat. I hope you're keeping up. I hope you have your own theories. I'm excited to hear them. Because I do. I want to know what happened. So, boyfriend, inside the apartment the whole time. Mm-hmm. This alibi is corroborated by various neighbors saying that he was not there. He also showed no signs of injuries to himself. We know that this person in the hallway was bleeding. They didn't just take his word for it. They did put him up against the DNA test. It was not him.
Okay.
It came back.
As long as they're testing for DNA. Like, because I was worried that's like, it's an unsolved mystery because we just decided not to test for the DNA at all. Ever.
No. They tested a lot. They talked to a lot of people.
They had a lot of blood to test, so
it's a lot. So yeah, no. Fortunately or unfortunately, it was not the boyfriend. So they had to move on to new suspects. Asking around to her other friends and family, investigators were hoping to find anyone, that they thought they could talk to, but they were really having such a hard time. Again, by all accounts, Ingrid was extremely well liked. Just no known enemies. So they talked to Ingrid's mother again, who I think unintentionally gave them like a small lead in the case.
Okay.
Ingrid's mother described a few small events that happened, some even earlier that year, that probably just seemed like nothing at the time, but now were perhaps more relevant. Okay. So her mother explained to them that, for example, Ingrid was brought to the emergency room last year, the year before, or I'm so sorry, 2 years prior. December 14th, 1989. So we're in 1991 now.
Yes, so it's
2 years prior.
Yeah, like we're a year and a half ago.
The timeline's important. Keep that in mind.
Okay.
She was admitted into the emergency room for a stab wound to the thigh. The reason for the stab wound? She told authorities, "I accidentally sat on my chef's knife in the car after a cooking class." I'm sorry.
I'm not doubting Ingrid. I'm not saying that she's lying. But I'm not sure she's truthing either.
I'm not sure that's the full truth. But since there was not a complaining victim in this case, it was just someone who accidentally hurt themselves. Nothing else was done.
Was it confirmed that she was in cooking class? Because like, did she have?
Right.
Were there? I guess like the first question is like, was she in cooking class, or was it just an excuse that nobody followed up on?
Unconfirmed.
Or maybe she did sit on a knife. Like I've sat on worse. I've sat on bullshit things.
Yeah, 100%. But it's
weird.
Bizarre.
It's weird.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It's weird.
And at the time, like I can see it like being brushed off. Like I guess it was just like a fluke. Like
and it was 2 years ago.
Like sorry, Mom, I'm gonna throw you under the bus. I'm sorry, Mom. Many years ago. many years ago, way back when I was but a wee lass. My mom had a very severe accident with a blender. The blender was not on before you get your brains jumbled. She was cleaning.
Already jumbled.
Sorry, she was cleaning a blender blade, and in a terrible accident, she sliced her finger open pretty bad. I'm sorry. And like somebody might have assumed that was an attack because it was such a weird thing. It was like, yeah, I just sliced my entire finger open with a blender blade. Yeah. She also refused to go to the hospital for a couple of days, and it got real bad.
That makes it even worse.
It got real bad.
That makes it even worse. It makes you look so guilty. You're like, I was trying to protect someone. I was going to go to the hospital, but now it's so bad. I had to go to the hospital.
As someone who was actively there when it happened, like, like she was cleaning a blender blade, and it slipped, and she got a nasty cut. And we didn't go to the hospital for a couple of days because, one, none of us could drive except her. My dad was out of the country. I was underage. My brothers are younger than me. And she had a gashed up hand, so she physically couldn't drive. And we were also in a foreign country that didn't speak English. So, like, it was all just, like, it was a whole bunch of elements.
The stars were not aligned.
The stars were not aligned with this particular thing. But eventually she did go to the hospital. She got, like, 7 stitches in her finger. And she's fine. Sorry.
Oh my gosh, what a trooper.
Sorry. But like, as someone who has lived through like a family member who has had a chef-related accident that is like it could almost be suspicious. I'm not one to be like, she's lying, she's covering it up. Like someone obviously attacked her with a chef's knife and she was trying to protect them. It's like maybe she did just drop a knife on her thigh.
I really appreciate you giving her the benefit of the doubt in this. Let's see if you hold that stance.
I'm just saying, like, if it happens once, it's a coincidence. If it happens twice, it's a little weird. But I'm just saying that this, I totally understand it could not be related. Like, I'm willing to allow that space in my mind before I'm immediately going, no, someone was trying to kill her since 2 years ago. Like,
since day one.
Since day one.
They've always had it out for her.
That chef's night had her name on it and someone was coming after her. But I can also see, like, yes, I understand, like, that could just happen.
Accidents happen. As someone who has tripped over not 1 but 2 dog gates this week and broke both of them, it can happen. It happens. Sometimes it happens.
Accidents happen, especially in Belgium. Accidents happen.
But I don't think this was one. Okay. So, continuing, more recently, on February 14th, 1991, Valentine's Day, Ingrid received a Valentine's Day card.
Okay.
But not from her boyfriend.
Not from some guy?
Not from some guy in Knokke. No, this was from an anonymous sender.
Interesting.
But it seemed like Ingrid might know who it was because she became highly irritated upon reading this card and ripped it up and just completely shredded it.
Interesting.
And just threw it away. And her mom was like, well, she didn't tell me who it was, but it kind of seemed like she knew. She had quite the reaction to it.
Yeah, it gives, like, unwanted coworker, like, vibes almost. Yeah.
Something. Then, just a short while later, March 2nd.
Not on Valentine's Day.
Not on Valentine's Day. Just a short while later, though. I mean, really, that's like 2 weeks later.
It really is. It's very close.
It is. And this is, like 2 weeks before she died, too? March 16th was the date.
Yeah, so I guess it was in very quick succession.
Yes.
It's escalating.
It's escalating. So on March 2nd, she was walking to her car, and upon opening the trunk of her car, she spotted a note that was left for her again, also by an anonymous sender.
In her car or on her car?
Different sources said different things, and I couldn't tell if it was translation, but I think it was in her trunk, which makes it creepier.
Yeah, it's like, who has access to her car?
Yeah, I think it was inside her trunk. So she opened her trunk, and inside her trunk, waiting for her, was a letter from an anonymous sender, written declaring their love for Ingrid.
Okay.
And then just a week later, on March 9th, a bouquet of purple carnations were delivered anonymously to her place of work.
Interesting. I'm not going to presume, but did you happen to look up what carnations mean in the flower language?
Specifically purple ones?
Specifically purple ones.
Well, Ingrid's mother seemed to think that it was for death.
Why don't let's corroborate that, because I can't remember specifically what purple carnations mean.
What do purple carnations mean? A capricious, unpredictably, and wild free spirit. But that's the AI overview, so I don't trust it.
Symbolism and color meaning of carnations from Bloom and Wild. I'm calling you out, Bloom and Wild. If I'm wrong, this is your fault.
It's your fault. Citing our sources.
We're citing our sources. So carnations in general can mean devotion, love, distinction, or fascination. Fascination being the strong word. Purple carnations mean capriciousness.
Capriciousness.
Purple carnations are an interesting one as they symbolize capriciousness. We'll have to define that word later. If you have an impulsive or unpredictable friend or family, then purple carnations are perfect to send before their next big adventure. Purple carnations are also the best flowers to send if you're unsure on how your gift will be received.
That's interesting.
I'm gonna specifically look up the word capriciousness because...
It's like unpredictable, spontaneous.
Yeah, sudden and unpredictable impulsiveness. Okay. I should say impulsive.
Because capriciousness is so much better.
Okay. So, yeah, it sounds... I mean, also, not everybody understands flower language. And, you know, I have got...
It's just such an interesting and specific choice, though, that it makes you wonder what it does mean. Purple carnations?
I really like carnations in general. I think that they're lovely flowers. I think they're like... They're just fun, and they're like small baby roses. I like carnations just like as like a floral arrangement. So I sometimes get carnations without meaning. Like I'm not like I'm gonna buy some pink and white carnations because I have love and unpredictability and I'm so innocent. No, it's like I think they're pretty. And so like sometimes I'm not that I'm defending this person, but I'm not saying that it is, you know, maybe they didn't know that it meant impulsiveness or like unpredictability. Yeah. It very well could have. But I'm also saying that sometimes people just buy flowers because they're pretty. They don't... It's true. There's not necessarily... Like, if you went up to someone on the road, like, what are the chances that you're like, hey, you, tell me what the definition of a blue orchid is? It's like, they're probably not gonna know. Like, everyone knows what red rose is, and, like, carnations are, like, yeah, they're kind of love sometimes, and, like, baby's breath is, like, innocence and jovialness, but, like, the purple carnations, like, I don't think that's, like, an impulse. Like, I had to look it up, and I know flower language. So I think, you know, it could be... It very well could be like, I'm sending you a message, you're impulsive, and I don't know how my gift is going to be received. Or it could be like, hey, these are really pretty and they reminded me of you. I think you look good in purple. Not that it is innocent, I'm saying that it's still malicious either way, but I don't necessarily want to put emphasis on flower language because... Even though I'm the one that brought up flower language, but like... I'm going to recognize... She brought it up to debunk herself. Before chat comes after me, like, why did you bring it up if you were going to debunk it? I recognize that I'm debunking it. I'm saying that I did this. Because
we have to talk about all possibilities, and the possibilities include it could be and it can't be. We got to talk about both.
I want to just tell you, that was a knee-jerk reaction on my part, where the first thing I was like, obviously they know! And then I had to think about it. I was like, maybe they don't. I had to look up what purple carnations mean. I pay attention to flower language. I didn't know what purple carnation... I'm like, if someone sent me purple carnations, I'm probably gonna be like, oh, it's my stalker, and like, it's like, I'm like, oh, they're pretty because I like carnations.
Right?
They're pretty.
Like you said, someone saw these at the store and went, wow, those are pretty. I want to send them to her. Yeah. Like, it could have been that, like you said, it just like the intent behind it, like in that regard.
Yes. I don't want to blame the purple carnations, is what I'm saying. I'm not. Yeah. I'm saying that if we've had this weird string of like unrequited notes and love letters, and like Ingrid's clearly pissed off, and it's not some guy, and like she received purple carnations, the maliciousness is in the gesture itself, not in the flower language. It's not them trying to send a message being like, oh, you're impulsive, and I don't know how this gift is going to be received. It might not be.
But also it could be.
But also it could be.
It could be.
I'm exploring both that. I'm trying to approach this from an unbiased point of view. I'm failing miserably, but I'm trying.
Well, it is noted that Ingrid definitely preferred, I don't want to say her favorite flower, that's what I was going to say, but I don't know if it was her favorite flower. It was said that she preferred roses. Okay. So it was a known preference that she's like, I like roses. I would like to receive roses. And then this person who apparently knew her and apparently loved her, as said so themselves in this letter, sent her a different flower. So it makes you wonder.
So, not to spoil anything about, because I don't know if you know this, but my category for next week is stalkers and assassinations. So I've done a lot of research on stalkers and assassinations. And one of the things with in particular, like people who are pursuing, they don't necessarily care what your preference is. Because the version of you that they have built isn't you. It's who they think you are.
That makes a lot of sense.
So, you know, this could be an impersonal, personal thing where, say that she has a stalker, because we don't know, it might be unsolved. This person might think that they know Ingrid intimately.
Yeah.
But they don't know Ingrid. They are aware of Ingrid, and they have created a version of Ingrid that isn't real.
Yeah.
So it's someone who knows Ingrid at like an acquaintance level, but thinks they know Ingrid on an intimate level. And, you know, a friend might know that Ingrid prefers roses, but this person, their version of Ingrid, is a purple carnation.
So well put, ma'am. So well put. Truly.
You know, just not to spoil anything for my case, but just something that I have looked into.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're so right, though. Like you said, that idealization of the person instead of just the person themselves. Like, and that's what makes it so dangerous.
Yeah, and once again, it also could just be, maybe it's the other kind of way that I'm leaning, a little bit like another theory that's bubbling in my head, is that it's a sarcastic gesture. And I'll talk about this a little bit more when you've gotten through your theories, and I'll see if you tackle that. But it's almost like someone is actually actively trying to get under Ingrid's skin. So it's not someone who is actually professing their love, but it's they're doing something that they know pisses Ingrid off. But they're doing it in a way that to a casual observer it seems innocent, or it seems like, oh, you've got a secret admirer, but Ingrid knows what that means. Yeah. And if it is somebody who knows Ingrid, you know, the very subtle difference of sending carnations versus roses, rather than it being an idealization, it's an active, like, I know you don't like these.
Yeah.
And I'm deliberately trying to rattle your cage. Which is not coming from my stalkers and assassinations research, but it's just something to think about. It
definitely is.
It could be an active dig rather than like an idealization of purple carnations Ingrid rather than red roses Ingrid.
Well, the next little weird thing that happened actually ties very well into your theory.
Oh, okay.
So, only a few days after that, on March 13th, 3 days before her murder.
Right.
She was at her boyfriend's apartment with him when somebody rang the doorbell to his apartment.
Okay.
And as a lot of people may know from living in apartments, if you don't, I'm going to tell you. Usually when someone rings the doorbell, when you're on one of those higher stories of the higher floors of the apartments, when people ring the doorbell, they're at the ground level. They're ringing you from the very ground level. They're not going to walk up or come all the way up to your 7th floor unless they know that you're there and you are available.
But also sometimes you can't get access to the building unless you ring the doorbell.
Bingo. I don't know what this building door policy was, how you got up, how you got down, but this person rang the doorbell, and then it was followed by a sudden knock at the door, which meant that this person wasn't down in the entrance or the hall of the apartment building, but they were actually right outside the door.
So they already had access to the apartment.
Even weirder, they were not expecting any company. And so the boyfriend over the intercom said, "Hi, who is it?" And there was no reply, and the person simply left.
You know this thing that we get sometimes called the blood skeeves?
Yeah, you got it right now.
I got a small case of blood skeeves. Just a
small
just a small case of where my ribs are tingling a little bit. And I'm like, don't like that. Don't like that. It wasn't good.
It wasn't good. But it does fall into your theory so well of someone like, were they just trying to get under her skin? Were they just like dinged on ditching her house? Or was this someone who was testing the waters of coming to her house, seeing what they could get away with? Did they think that she was alone? Did they actually know her schedule? Were they trying to pinpoint it down? It leads to so many what was the purpose of this?
The other like big question about this is as well as like, how did they get access to the apartment? And is it one, do they live there? 2, do they know somebody who lives there? Or 3, you've got the classic movie trope where it's like, we're trying to get access to those apartments, so we're going to call another apartment. Yeah. Being like, hey, I'm trying to get hold of so-and-so, but they're not answering, or I have a delivery for so-and-so, but like nobody's answering the door, can you buzz me in? Yeah. And that's also an option, but kind of with like thinking back to the crime scene, this does imply that this person had some intimate knowledge of this building. Like they knew it to a certain degree to navigate it. Like they weren't, they knew where the stairwells were, they knew how they worked, they knew how to escape.
Yes.
So that does imply that there has been, there at least is some familiarity with the crime scene.
Yes. They, like you said, they know it. They've been there before. I don't know if this was them scoping it out. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they were there.
They were there.
But it's also like, was this even the same person? Because as we continue on, we have some interesting characters that pop up that are not the culprit.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and investigators tried to follow up on all of this because apparently she had a stalker. No one saw anything. No one saw who rang the bell. They even visited the florist shops to see if anyone remembered who placed this weird, unique order for purple carnations.
Yeah.
No one. Nothing. That's such a weird one. Apparently that's a very hard order to fill, especially in Belgium, in this area. Like, getting purple carnations is not an easy thing, and yet no one remembers it?
Unless you grow them yourself.
All of these things, like, it seems so, like, weirdly, like, how did it time out so perfectly? How did no one know? How did no one see? Like, it really, like, I don't know.
I'm bubbling. I've got some thoughts, but I'm gonna save them because I don't want to jump the gun. But I'm curious to see what other little weird tricks are hiding in this, because it's a brain tingler.
It is, and it's about to get even. I haven't even told you one of the weirdest things yet.
Oh my god.
So, at this point, like I said, investigators really, the only piece of evidence that they had at this point was the DNA. Like, that was it. They had the reconstructed crime scene of what they thought happened, but they had the DNA that had no matches, and that was it. They did not have a motive. They did not have a weapon. They did not have anything. This all changed on March 30th, when a new piece of evidence was sent directly to the police station.
Oh.
An anonymous letter was mailed to investigators. Written in French, in big block letters, like a serial killer letter.
Yeah, just casually in big block letters.
It read, "I killed Ingrid Caeckaert, out of love, pour la passion. I knew her very well." And that was it. That simple
That's
note.
So eerie. It's so dark, but...
Which again plays right into the theory you had of someone that thinks they know her, but doesn't. It was a crime of passion. This person admitted it. They literally sent their confession to the police station and said, "I killed her. It was a crime of passion."
Unless
it wasn't.
Unless it was a hoax. And this is a sick, twisted person who just wanted the attention. Because that does happen, especially with serial killer cases and, like, these kinds of crimes. The amount of people who write in pretending to be the killer and being like, "Haha, it was me." And then, like, they look into it. It's actually just some loser, like, 15-year-old who has, like, nothing better to do with their day.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not saying it is, but I just want to analyze. I want there to be a broad picture.
We got to explore all possibilities.
Yes, I don't want to just be like, absolutely, it was a stalker who thought that they knew Ingrid, but they didn't. And the purple carnations, maybe they didn't understand the love language, but maybe they grew them themselves, and they're the only flowers that they had on hand, and they didn't want to get caught with them. And maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just a really weird string of coincidence.
Some of these things feel almost so, like, it's just too good to be true. Like, and I don't want to say too good to be true, but, like, too planned. Like, how did this person commit this crime in 30 minutes, make it out, leave a trail of blood, send a signed confession letter in, like, literal serial killer format to the police, and they are not caught? I'm sorry.
The thing that I weirdly enough, which just sprung into my head, is something that you said in your Chupacabra episode. And we talked about this a little bit, and we were saying that, like, 1,000 weird things can happen in Puerto Rico, but everyone just assumes it's the one alien.
Yeah.
And it's one of those where, like, 1,000 weird things happened to Ingrid, but everyone just assumes it was the stalker. And I'm like, you are allowed...
I like where you're going with this.
Like, you are allowed to have weird things happen in your life that aren't necessarily connected. Like, your life is a string of dominoes, but the dominoes aren't all placed at the same time.
It's true.
Like, and absolutely, you know, one thing may have set off the other or whatever, but I just want to breathe life into that, where it's just like, yes, a lot of weird things happen to Ingrid. Like, the chef accident, like, 2 years ago was very strange. The love letters, the flowers, the serial killer note, they were all very strange, but 1,000 weird things can happen in Puerto Rico, and it's not necessarily one alien.
It's true. It's true. Weird things happen in our lives day in and day out, and they do not necessarily mean that we all have stalkers after us and that we're about to be murdered. They are just sometimes weird things.
They're not necessarily connected. They affect each other for certain. Like, your life is all one, big string, and everything in your life affects you. But not every domino is placed by the same player. Yeah. And just because the dominoes are tipping one by one doesn't mean that they were set deliberately. So I just wanted to air that before we were like, everything is connected. It's all one guy. The purple carnations mean uncertainty, and we're not sure how the gift is going to be received. Like, they might, 100% they could be. But 1,000 weird things can happen in Puerto Rico.
It's true.
Which, it's just like, don't waste your milk on an unlit candle. It's
No, we'll come back to this. Trust me, I'm only going to validate this point further for you down the line.
Great. I just want to air that. But like, chat, like, I know it's so easy to fall into that. Everything's connected. But I just want you to critically think critically. Yes. Think about every situation. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Before we proceed.
Yes.
This is very mature of me. Like, old lady would never.
You're like, no, it was all like, you just got the yarn and you're going.
Oh yeah, that's what's happening behind me. Chat can't see that. They can see like you can see me like actively stringing these pieces together. But I'm like I'll be like 100% they're all connected, and this guy was crazy. But also, chat, I expect better of you, chat. Right. I expect you to be more.
I hold you to a higher standard, chat.
Yeah, don't be like me. Don't be like me. Think critically.
Think critically. So, yeah, this short note, it was weird.
It's very weird.
And while the letter itself did not yield any physical clues, I mean, they tried. They tested, the saliva that licked the stamp. They tried to get physical clues from this. There was nothing. They could not obtain anything from this. But the note itself was the contents of the note. It was interesting.
Yeah.
As we've said before, Belgium is a melting pot. There's a lot of different languages.
Yeah, there's like French and German and English and Dutch. It all kind of comes together in Belgium.
Well, Ingrid herself, her little kind of circle of influence, she ran in a Flemish group of people. She was Flemish, family's Flemish, friends were Flemish, co-workers. Yeah. Even the police investigating this were Flemish. Mm-hmm. This note that was sent to them was written in French.
It's French, which implies a foreign actor, but Belgium is a weird place.
It's interesting. So, like you said, provided the killer wasn't a forwarder or the letter was a hoax, this could be a big clue.
Yes.
So, the letter was shown to the public via television broadcast on VTM.
That's an interesting choice. I like it. It's bold.
They just showed it. They're like, here's the letter.
Yeah. You recognize any of this? Was the letter like all handwritten, or was like the block letters were they typed?
I'll have to show you a picture of it. I can't tell. I'll have to show you. I guess, I think it is handwritten. I think it's handwritten block letters. Because police said anyone that recognizes, handwriting or, anything, familiar about this, please come forward. So I guess that implies, like you said, that it is handwriting.
There's a level of handwrittenness.
Handwrittenness, yeah. So while they waited for the public's response, investigators also attempted... Oh, we already went over that. Went over the DNA. Nothing found on that. So unfortunately, both of these leads... they produced nothing. There was no results. No one came forward and said, oh yeah, I recognize that. That's my brother's handwriting. Nothing. So after that, the trail kind of seemed to go cold. Ingrid's body was promptly returned back to her family, and she was laid to rest in her hometown of Maldheim. Shortly after that, sometime in April of 1991, someone had anonymously visited Ingrid's grave.
Oh.
This person had left 3 flowers on top of her grave.
Okay.
2 roses and 1 purple carnation.
Ew. But the ew.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Those are the same type of flowers that were mailed to her just a week before her death. And this would happen again in 1993 and again in 1996.
Maybe we should, I don't know, put someone on watch.
Yeah. Each time this person was able to arrive and leave without being seen by anybody. And since 1996, no further flowers have been found.
Okay.
In the meantime, between now and then, authorities have never given up on Ingrid's case. They actually pursued several different suspects for various reasons. And I didn't want to go into all of them because, to be honest, a lot of them, all of them. I say a lot of them. All of them went nowhere, obviously, or else we wouldn't be here.
Yes, otherwise it would not be an unsolved mystery.
Yeah. I mean, at one point, I mean, they even exhumed a body to try to get a potential DNA match. I mean, they were like literally digging up graves. Like, we want to find who this is. It was toward the end of 1997 that police attempted to appeal to the public again, urging anybody with information to come forward. And even though one man did come forward, nothing came of it. He was like, hey, I think I remember some stuff. And they were like, hey, your memory's very inaccurate and does not line up. Thank you. That was unhelpful.
Right. At least he tried.
At least he tried. So, even after a decade, they tried again in November of 2002 this time.
Okay.
They tried to show the copies of the letters again, appealing to the public. The police were now confident in actually stating that they thought Ingrid's killer was her stalker.
Okay.
Jean-Pierre Lekins of the federal police in Bruges concluded, given the frenzy in which the murder was committed, we assumed that Caeckaert was the victim of a rejected admirer. She had a steady boyfriend and led a quiet life, but she was a beautiful young blonde woman. Our working hypothesis is that she was murdered by a man who saw more in her than she saw in him.
Yeah. I mean, damn. What a description.
Yeah. What, right? Right?
It's cutting. It's cutting.
It is. And another 10 years would pass without really much to show for it. They attempted a few more DNA comparisons that came back without any matches, and eventually the case would be taken over by a new agent of the Federal Justice Police in Bruges, by a new agent named Saskia Baisi. Baisi came looking at this from a completely different angle, and she kind of was looking at it through the lens of viewer.
Oh.
She said, instead of making a appeal to the public for Ingrid's soul killer, she said, no. Come to me if you have information specifically on the man that placed the letter near the trunk of her car or that delivered the Valentine's note to her. I want that guy.
Okay.
If you have information on that guy, come talk to me.
Okay.
Which is a little different, right?
It's
like
different.
That's a different approach.
It's a different angle.
It's a different angle. And so the following appeared on the website of the federal police and was also quoted in Ingrid's parents' blog. On Valentine's Day, Ingrid received a card from a hitherto unknown man. The man was around 30 years old at the time and came from Antwerp. He worked in a pharmacy and was married. The man had 2 children and rented or owned an apartment in the Albert residence, close to Heldenplein. He must have been a good customer of the Brasserie Royal, in quotes, so I think that's like a pub.
Yeah, could be. Or a bra shop.
I googled what it was. It's
a brazier. You've heard of a brazier?
It's a brewery. That's what it's a brewery. And yeah, it ended with the investigators would like to get in touch with this man. So they said, you know this guy? Tell me about this guy. Again, not her killer. Tell me about the guy that left this note or the Valentine's card. Yeah. Very different question.
Very different question.
Now, my first question after reading that was, where did you all of a sudden get all this information about this guy? How do you know he's 30? How do you know he's married? How do you know where he lives? Because if you know all that, how don't you know who he is?
Yeah.
And how don't you know how to find him, right? Yeah. Like, that was my first question, and I could not find an answer to that either, so I want to find an answer to that eventually. Fair. But I don't know how to find an answer to that.
You know, it also, because this is probably this is in the 2010s now, that this is going on. So now we have a thing that we might not necessarily have been using back in the 90s. We have something called criminal profiling. And you can learn a lot about someone without actually knowing them. And how many of those serial killer digs that we looked at, like in our many years of looking up crime, where that someone has been like, this person is clearly insensitive about this kind of woman, and they're probably married, and they probably have kids, and they're impulsive, and they do this, and they probably go to like some sort of event every Thanksgiving, and like, but we don't know who that person is because they don't know what they're looking for, but they just based on like very subtle clues that we have found, like just like how they write the letter, like how they like interact, like how like this attack would have gone down, like whatever evidence that they have not released to the public, because I can only assume that there are certain pieces of evidence that have not been released to the public. Like this very well could be just a criminal profile.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I don't know. That was my first thought, was just, how did you get this information? And is it, like you said, is it validated information or is it a theory?
Yeah.
Nonetheless, it worked, and they found him.
Oh. But it clearly wasn't him, because it didn't matter, because this is an unsolved mystery. This is your daily reminder that this is an unsolved mystery.
Yeah, thank you so much. Unfortunately, this man had an airtight alibi, just like Ingrid's boyfriend did. He was on a boat in Canada the entire time, with several witnesses and
That doesn't sound like an airtight alibi to me. Fucking boats are the most unpredictable alibi.
the most you can do is match his DNA, and they tried and they couldn't. So he did not kill Ingrid.
He didn't kill Ingrid. Doesn't mean he wasn't involved.
I don't know if multiple people were involved. I don't think they were.
Was he perhaps a courier? Where the actual stalker was sending gifts and letters through other people?
It could be. He specifically, this man, had an infatuation for Ingrid. He was obsessed with her. Ingrid even knew that this man was like watching her.
Interesting.
Like he would like sit at like local places and like stare at her from places. Like, so she knew about this guy and was like, no, he's just a creep. He's just a married creep that won't leave me alone.
He's
like, fuck that guy.
He's a weirdo.
So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe two creeps found each other in this creepy world and worked together to be extra creepy. Stranger things have happened.
No, I
don't know.
My theory that I'm saving to myself is slowly fleshing out. Yes, okay, let's continue.
So, unfortunately, at this point, Ingrid's killer was still at large.
Yeah.
And by this time, we're at 2014. Over 2,000 people have been questioned in connection to Ingrid's case. And no further leads were really uncovered. On March 16th, 2021, as per the law...
It's recent.
After 30 years, they unfortunately had no choice but to close her case.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. However, hope is not entirely lost. In November of 2022, a new technique of testing DNA was developed by Dr. Sophie Claerhout from Köln was revealed to the public. The researcher from KU Leuven, she developed a technique to identify perpetrators via their Y chromosome, a unique piece of DNA that is solely passed on from father to son.
Interesting. So they're using familial DNA.
Yes. So, as Sophie says herself, I am strongly convinced that the murder of Ingrid can be solved in this way. Only, the technique is not legally regulated in Belgium yet. While they have been doing it in the Netherlands for over 10 years, for Ingrid's parents, this is pretty bittersweet.
Yeah.
She says that she's in close contact with them and would like to help them find an answer. I do not want to imagine that they have to die without knowing who murdered their daughter.
Yeah, jeez. Now here's a question. I don't know if we touched upon this. Do they know for certain that Ingrid's killer is a man?
They do.
They do? They know for certain?
From the blood, they know for a fact that it is a man.
The blood. Okay.
The blood. Yes.
The blood.
So the last update that I was able to find on this was in 2024, where it was stated that the approval for this type of testing is still actively being worked on getting approved and legalized in Belgium.
Okay.
So there is still hope. Like, there is actually hope that this could be approved. This was in 2024. I don't know. I tried to find 2025 updates and I couldn't find them. I know court systems are slow. It might still be, in the pipeline somewhere. I'm hopeful that maybe in the next few years even, we might see some movement, something from this, because over 750 men in Belgium have come forward and volunteered their DNA.
Oh my God, yes. Yes, my guys.
There's so much DNA out there to be, tested against, and if just one of these guys, even if it wasn't them, if they're related to the person
cousins,
that did this.
Brothers, uncles, grandparents, anybody. And this is recent, so these are people who would be close in lineage as well. Oh my God, let's go, Belgium.
If this man is still alive, I believe it said that he would be in his 70s right now. Mm-hmm. So there's a chance that this guy is still out there. And honestly, I really hope that in our lifetime we get this answer. I really hope in Ingrid's parents' lifetime that they get that answer, because they so deserve that closure.
Oh my God, yes. Ingrid deserves she deserves justice. She deserves to have that duel in the stairwell. She deserves to out the person who would do that to somebody. Because what else are they capable of? What else have they done? In 30 years, if they're capable of 62 stab wounds in a stairwell, what else are they capable of? Have they done this again? One of the first things that you said, when they stopped leaving the flowers, you said it was 1996 was the last time they left flowers. Mm-hmm. Usually when stalkers stop giving attention to a person,
they found a new infatuation.
Usually implies they found someone else. They found someone new. And whether that new person was a bit more receiving or was blissfully ignorant or was also in danger. Maybe there's an unrelated murder that happened in the Netherlands, or happened in France, or happened in Germany. So, like, not necessarily in Belgium, so it didn't, like, ring bells.
It didn't register.
Yeah, but, like, another crime could have happened. Like, Europe is pretty small. It's very easy to go from one European country to another. Like, this could have happened in Germany. This could have happened in France. This could have happened in Poland, where this guy is just following pretty young blonde things around Europe. And, like, if they reciprocate, great. Like, he dates them until he's bored with them, or we get another Ingrid, and Ingrid might not have been the first.
Right. And it's so unfortunate, like you said, that this vile person, capable of such a horrible act, is able to continue to live and walk on.
Yeah.
Ingrid had that snuffed out, had that beautiful light snuffed out.
Yeah, and with very little consequence. So, like, even if we do catch them, that they've lived 30 years free from this instance, presuming that they weren't caught for another crime unrelated, because that also does sometimes happen. But you would assume that if they were caught for another crime, that there's just, like, their DNA would be
in the database,
and then it would, like, you could run it and flag it.
But I also don't know how that works internationally. Like you said, if this guy was in another country, I mean, he was in Belgium at this time, but let's say he comes to the US, let's say he goes any other country, that their databases don't work together like that.
Yeah.
It's just, this case for me was so wild, of just, like you said, in 30 minutes, this woman's life was ended, and no one saw anything. This crowded street corner in an apartment that housed probably thousands of people, no one saw anything.
It's mind-boggling, isn't it? And I do have a couple of other thoughts and theories that you didn't touch on, which
I'm excited.
Like, one of them is kind of invalidated now, but it was like as soon as you started talking about, like, some guy, and we were talking about, like, these weird instances of, like, before, and it was one of those where, like, I wonder if it wasn't the stalker, but it was someone that the stalker, like, loved, or, like, was, like, with, like, a spouse. And it was almost like that. It very well could be, the person who left the purple flowers. But I also wonder, if you've got this person who's romanticizing and fantasizing about Ingrid, let's say that they were bisexual, per se, and this stalker had an infatuation with Ingrid, but they were married to a guy, or even a girl, and their partner is in some way aware of what happened,
of this infatuation,
and the killing was potentially part of, like, it was a very weird, convoluted love triangle.
Yeah,
so that's a theory.
It could be.
I don't think it's very viable anymore, but that was kind of like when you were talking about some guy and, like, familiarity with the apartment. I almost wonder, like, was some guy having an affair, and was this, like, this person sending the love notes? Was it, like, the lover, the jilted lover, that was trying to get Ingrid out of the way to get to some guy? The other weird connection is, of course, Ingrid is in real estate, and someone who has familiarity with Ingrid, I almost wonder if it was a former client who Ingrid helped. And of course, when you're, like, you were very aware of this, when you're in work mode, when you're in like service mode, you are not you. You're a different person. You're a different version of yourself.
You're people pleasing mode, baby.
You're purple carnations mode.
Yeah.
So you create this persona of, like, I'm so friendly and I'm so helpful and I care about you and I care about your feelings, and you don't really come to terms with the fact that this person is a real estate agent and they just want their money and they just want their commission and they just want to get you a house. And maybe there's this person who's very unsatisfied, whether in their life, or they're lonely, they're not getting what they need out of their marriage, something. And they've fallen in love with this purple carnation's Ingrid, not realizing that that's not Ingrid. That's Red Rose's Ingrid is Ingrid. And so, they've built this infatuation with, like, oh, she was so nice to me, and she was so friendly, and she cared about me, and she wanted to know my thoughts and my feelings, and I felt seen, and I felt like a person. And then the house sale went through, and there goes Ingrid. And this person very much could have been like, but remember our connection, all our purple carnations, and, like, what, like, we could bring that back, baby. And she's just like, you're a client, you bought a house, like, that's it.
That's it.
It's game over.
My job is done.
Yeah, like you got what you wanted. And he's like, no, I wanted you.
Yeah.
And
that's a very, very plausible possibility.
And I've seen there's so many cases, with real estate agents and like falling victim to like potential clients, and it's it's a very dangerous industry because you're in a location that even you might not know very well, and you're with strangers who you don't know at all, and you're not you, and you're usually on your own, and it's a very dangerous environment, especially if like it's a very intimate environment. So I'm sure that the Belgian police have explored this avenue already, but I wouldn't be surprised if we found out that it was a disgruntled client or a lovelorn client. And I don't think the clientele would have happened that same year. I probably would have believed that it would have happened a year before, where like the house sale went through and was like, all right, job done.
Yeah.
And, he might have pursued her. He might have sent messages or text messages being like, hey, remember me?
Like it started small at first and time goes by little by little, and then it escalates little by little. By
the time she got the Valentine's note, clearly she was already frustrated. It wasn't just like oh, this is weird, like I wonder who sent this, or like, oh, it's crazy that this client is sending me. It was like this is not the first time this has happened. This is like straw 7. Like
I've clearly told this person to fuck off and they're not fucking off.
Yeah, this is like instance 27 at this point. Like this is incessant, and it's escalating. And it probably did start with like, hey, want to catch dinner this week? Or like, hey, I saw you at the bus stop, and hey, like, can I like it probably started off as like, hey, can I recommend you? And it was just like any form of communication. And then it was actively seeking that connection. I would also like to stress, chat, that I am not a psychologist. I am not qualified to diagnose or profile. These are just my thoughts and feelings, and these are mine alone. This is not Spookery's reflection. This is me. If you are upset, you can take it out on me. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Take it out on us. We stand by this. We stand by it.
This is just living in my true crime world for as long as I do with my spreadsheet of 600 cases. Like, I do see examples of that where it starts very subtle, especially like I've done a lot of research, as I said, on stalkers and assassinations. Like, sometimes it does start off very innocently, where it's just like, hi, how are you? Mm-hmm. Great.
Yeah. And you just don't know where it's going. Like, the other party they're none the wiser to the potential of the situation.
They don't know the motivation. And it usually just start off with just like, hey, hi, how are you? And, you see this message from a client and you're just like, good? What's up?
Yep.
And you're only conversing with this other persona. You're conversing with purple carnations, Ingrid. You're never conversing with red roses, Ingrid, because you don't have that relationship.
Yeah.
And so you've built up this other person, and eventually she's gonna snap. She's not gonna be purple carnations Ingrid anymore. She's not even gonna be red roses Ingrid. She's just gonna be angry Ingrid.
Yeah.
And that shattering that illusion or the persona that you've built, you're like, you're not who I thought I was. That can absolutely lead to 62 stab wounds. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that is a very plausible theory, and gosh, like I said, I'm just mad that we don't have answers. I am, because I want to be able to, at the end of this, like, open up, that at the end of the game of Clue, you open it up and you see who the killer was, and I just want to pull that card from the deck and be like, and there it was the whole time.
The whole time.
And I told you guys I was going to ruin your night, and I ruined my own night. I knew this was going to end this way, and I ruined my own night, and I'm not happy about it.
But I think it's important to talk about, because, like, I've never heard of this case. And I'm shocked that I've never heard of this case. And it deserves to be told, and it deserves to be spread, and we deserve to it deserves to be talked about and explored. It deserves an international audience. Like, every wrongful injustice deserves an international audience where, like, we should care about the people who die. We should do everything in our power to work together as human beings to stop people who stab someone 62 times at a stairwell.
Right.
And so like, hope here's to Ingrid, here's to hoping that our podcast at least gets us a little bit of attention in America, and that we can care a little bit, and
that's all it is.
Fingers crossed that Belgium keeps doing what it's doing, and it approves this Y chromosome familial testing system, because it sounds really cool. And here's to hoping that we find something out, because we've seen great success in familial testing in the States and in the UK. We've seen I know it's sometimes controversial, but if you've got a willing participant, if you've got 700 people willing to like go down the lane and just take what you need. Yeah.
And they do. They have a plethora of people, like you said, just standing up, lining up, saying, please, we want to help in any way.
Yeah.
And these are good men that are just willing to do that. And
yeah. And you know what? 700 can very easily leak into, you know, a couple thousand of just potential matches. So
if just every single one of those guys has a brother, every sort of them definitely has a dad.
Or
like,
uncle,
you know what I mean? Like you said,
grandfather.
Yeah.
And if we can get partial matches from multiple, then we can at least narrow it down to like possible family gene pools. So
like you said, here's to hoping. That's where I'm at with this. Is, you know, as frustrating as it was, it absolutely is a case that needs to be told, and it is one that I am very hopeful for still.
Yeah.
Even though this is a 30-year-old plus case, there is still hope. So I'm definitely not giving up. Ingrid's been on my mind the entire time writing this. I've been working on it for a while, and I've thought about her every day, because her name just deserves to be said.
Yeah. So here's to you, Ingrid. We're gonna figure this out. In our lifetime, we're gonna figure this out.
Heck yeah. There's good people on it.
God, Belgium. If any place can do it, it's Belgium.
It's true. It's true.
Oh, well.
Gosh, thank you for coming on this roller coaster of a journey with me, ma'am, because I know this was not an easy one.
No, but it was an incredible case. Very interesting. I'm kind of upset at myself that I didn't find this case, because fuck, this was really cool. In like a really horrible way. Like, cool is maybe not the right word, but
I know what you mean, though. Like you said, you have to sometimes turn your blinders off and just be like, okay, let's just look at the facts.
Yeah, and you know, it's being critical. It's making sure you're not getting pigeonholed into any like level of theory, because like I remember when you started telling me about this case, I immediately was like, it's this, and then you said something, and I'm like, never mind, and we're pivoting.
You have to, you pivot the whole time, though. The new thing would come up, and then you'd be like, wait, the letters were sent by someone that wasn't the killer? How does that not what? Huh? Okay, wait, that throws my other theory out. What?
Yeah, and like, it's such a weird thing. I definitely think that the chef knife incident is unrelated. I think that was...
just a weird thing that happened. I almost didn't put it in my case, I'm not gonna lie, because I also felt that it was unrelated, but I'm like, I feel like I have to talk about it and let other people make up their minds.
It's definitely worth bringing up, but I think 1,000 weird things happen in Puerto Rico.
1,000 weird things happen in Puerto Rico. I need a shirt that says that.
This is the season of shirts.
It's so good.
Hey, you said it. That's all you, babe.
We said it.
We said it. Spookery said
we
it.
said it. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I think you did an amazing job. Well, congratulations on another amazing Unsolved Mystery, another great book in the Spookery library. And yeah, I'm quietly confident we'll get an answer in Ingrid in our lifetime. You know, it might not be in the next 10 years, it might not be in the next 20 years, it might be 60 years before we see anything, but we're gonna I think Ingrid of all people is worthy of a chance to get her case solved. Yeah, and we'll be right there when it does.
Right. I mean, we've seen, like you said, how many cases are positively affected by the DNA testing. Like in the US here, we've seen so many stuff that we heard about as kids. We're like, oh my gosh, this killer has been on the loose for 30 years, just like this. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden they find him because someone's great-grandson gave their DNA up, and then they're like, yeah, this guy's 70, but we're locking him up because fuck him.
It's like the Golden State Killer, the original Night Stalker. Like, that is familial to like someone who was just living their life after committing atrocious acts, and we got him. And, you know, like, we can't get those 30 years back, but we can at least start now. The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, but if you can't do that, you plant it today.
It's true. Like you said, the first best time to start is 20 years ago. The next best time is today.
Yeah. So, yeah, but geez, fuck yeah. But I'm not as frustrated as I thought I was going to be. This is a very hopeful Unsolved Mystery in a weird way. Like, I feel like Bella and the Witch Elm was like much more like, yeah, and that's all we got. It wasn't as hopeful, but like, I feel like Ingrid's got a really good fighting chance, and I think it's a really good message that cases like this, the best thing that they can have is hope.
Right?
Yeah.
And just that message too of like, never stop fighting, honestly, because the only reason that Ingrid's case has any chance of being solved is because of Ingrid. Yeah. Is because she fought back. Yeah. Is because she left her own evidence and her own trail to solve her own murder.
Yeah. She was a badass motherfucker, and she's gonna solve her own murder.
She did. She injured her attacker. She hurt them. She left DNA at the scene. Like, when this finally is solved, she is the one to solve it.
Yeah. I definitely think that this was multiple people in a weird way. Just with the car and, like, the disappearance of the blood. Like, that's some level of accomplice, right? Even if it's, like, an unknowing accomplice, it's some level of help.
Yeah.
Someone was parked there. Oh, wait, unless...
what?
I've immediately undone my own theory.
Sorry, chat. We're not done with this one. We're unearthing this. Take it back off the shelf. We're adding another theory to this.
No, it's not a theory. It was me immediately debunking what I was about to say, which was an accomplice. Like, clearly it was a getaway driver just waiting, but, like, what if it was his car? What if he just got into his car and drove away?
But he could have.
He didn't need to be driven. I just assumed, like, he was too injured to drive, but I'm like...
I also don't know, like, the extent of his injuries. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so much, like, left...
Yeah, and we'll probably never know. We'll never know the extent of the injuries because it's been 30 years, and I don't, you know, I feel like if somebody went to a hospital, I probably would have been at least like hey, this guy came in, like, really injured, like, weirdly from, like, his own knife. He fell on it in, like, a chef-related accident.
Literally, they're like, wait, did you happen to fall on this? Did you sit on
your knife?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so, I don't know. It could be a multitude of things, and we won't know until we know.
And we won't know until we know.
But we'll know. I've got a feeling. I've got a feeling we'll know.
I'm glad you feel that way too, because I felt that way, and I'm like, I don't know. It's an I have nothing. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know right now, but I do feel like we will. I do. I feel it in my heart of hearts that we will know.
We'll know. Ingrid, in our lifetime, will know at the very least. And, you know, it's very possible that her attacker isn't alive anymore. Like, it's very possible that we'll never get justice, but we'll, at the very least, we'll know. We'll know what happened. And
that's all you can ask for sometimes.
Yeah, like, sometimes knowing is enough.
Yeah, it's true. But I am happy to have told this case, and I am just as happy to put it to bed.
Yeah.
And to move on.
Put it back on the shelf. Put it back up there.
Oh, gosh, I'm ready for a new case. I'm ready to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel. Let's get the wheel. All right, ready to spin the wheel?
Yeah.
All
ready to spin that wheel.
3, 2, 1, spin.
That wheel.
All right, ma'am. Ma'am, are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Your final case of the season, your grand finale.
My grand finale
is theft and fraud.
Theft and fraud. I don't think I've had a theft and fraud.
No, the only theft and fraud we've had is Bonnie and Clyde. So you got your work cut out for you.
I'm excited. Okay, cool. And this we're ending the season on this.
This is the final case. Your final case. The final case of season 2.
It's our bookend. I gotta pick a good one.
Yeah, you gotta dig deep. You gotta theft. You gotta fraud. You gotta commit some level of tax evasion, probably.
I think I already know which one I'm gonna do.
For legal reasons, that was a joke. We're not committing tax evasion on this podcast. Please don't come for us. It's tax season.
It's tax season.
It's tax season.
We are not sponsored by H&R Block.
We are not, and not to date this episode, but it is tax season. We are not committing tax fraud. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Wow, theft and fraud. Look at you and the spicy noodle over there. Okay, I'm really excited to see what you pick.
This is going to be a really fun bookend for the season, truly. God, we've had some really fun cases this season, and I think this is only going to continue that fun. I'm really excited.
I'm buzzing in my boots. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
And I can't wait for your stalkers and assassinations case next week.
Yes, I've been, like, cheekily teasing it because weirdly this was really relevant to what I was researching at the time.
It was.
And I guess I should probably do a final teaser for my case. I think that you teased my episode really well at the end of Titanic.
Oh.
Without knowing.
Oh.
And you have teased my case again very well at some point in this episode.
BRB, re-listening to this whole episode.
Yeah, you gotta go, just rewind it back. She's Alana, my beautiful co-host, my best friend of all time. She has said something in this episode that perfectly teased my case. And like, here's your little like investigation, guys. Like, let's see if you can figure out what my case is based on that really vague clue.
Yeah.
Because this was like a weirdly perfect segue into my case. So
interesting.
And that's all I'll say.
Huh. Is it a high profile case?
It is technically a high profile case, yes.
Huh.
I can see those little cogs spinning in that head. Oh god, she's trying to figure it out. She's trying to figure it out. Like, yeah, something in your case perfectly teased my case. And I think this is literally the perfect segue into my case. And I can't tease it any better than that. So I'm just gonna finger gun out of here.
Gosh. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Gosh. Next week can't come soon enough.
Right, just gotta wait one more week, huh? It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
No, it's not too bad.
It's not too bad.
Hopefully this episode will sustain your minds until next week, because
yeah,
I know I'm gonna be waiting too.
And yeah, if you guys have any theories that we didn't touch on, or if you think of anything that's, maybe you do think that the chef knife is related, and you found the perfect reason why, like, please let us know. I'm intrigued. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this case. Let's tell people. Like, let's spread the word. Let's let people know. Let's let America know. Let's let UK know. Let's let wherever you are know. Ingrid's out there, and we can solve this. We just gotta work together.
We can. The right legislation just needs to be passed, and they can do that testing. And
if like, we'll post photos on Instagram. Like, you'll see pictures of the handwriting, and the evidence that we have. If you recognize this, if you have someone who you think is connected, like, can't hurt.
Can't hurt. It can't.
It can't.
Well, with that being said,
where can they find us, Miss Ma'am?
Yeah, where can they find us? Instagram.
Yep.
Instagram, she says questioningly.
YouTube.
Instagram and the YouTubes. You can find us there at Spookery Podcast.
Spookery Podcast. So they can also send us a Gmail at spookerypodcast@gmail.com. You can also leave us a 5-star review if you like. If you kind of liked how this was going. If you liked the vibe of season 2. Yeah. If you like us. Consider leaving a 5-star review, because it helps other people find us, and then they can give their opinions about Ingrid, and they can tell the people and spread the word.
Yeah. Well, just tell us. Just tell us.
Just tell us. Give us your thoughts. Give us your feelings. We're very intrigued. Yeah. We're very social creatures.
We really are.
But
we? Also,
we're also incredibly antisocial creatures.
Yeah. At the right times. We're like cats.
We're like cats. We love you, but we love you from the room over there.
Yeah. You'll know when we want attention.
Yeah.
It's every Monday when we post this.
And then as soon as you give us just enough, we will bite you.
Yes.
Them's the rules.
That's the rule.
And you might be allergic to us, but yeah, that's beside the point.
That's a story for another day.
Yeah. Anyway. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Until next time, everybody.
Stay spooky.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
February 14th, 1991. Mm-hmm. Some may call it Valentine's Day.
Some might not, though.
Some might not. Ingrid did. And so she received a Valentine's Day card. Though not from her boyfriend or her parents. This is a serious topic. Stop laughing.
I'm sorry. I got the giggles. I don't know why.
I do too.
Can you redo that line?
Some may call it Valentine's Day.
Some might not.
So,